I'm Kristin Avila. I became a lamplighter in 2015, and the last show that I did with the company was The Pirates of Penzance in the summer of 2018, and we are here today to talk about that production with our fabulous costume designer, Miriam Lewis. Hi, Miriam. How are you?
Hi, Kristin. I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Wonderful. And how long have you been with Lamplighters?
I think I joined in 2004. I interned on, I think, Iolanthe or Pinafore. I can't remember which was first. I had taken classes with Judy Jackson, and one of the things that we did was to intern on a show.
Amazing. And you were our fabulous costume designer for their 2018 production of Pirates, which there was a lot of work that had to go into that one because we made some changes. So before we get into that, I want to ask, when you get pitched a project, what gets you excited about it? Is there certain things you look for that make you choose to accept? Do you have sort of requirements that you need to check boxes, or is it just a feeling?
Well, I'm just a girl who can't say no. Uh, Truly, it's very unusual to have a project that I'm not excited by. I'm excited by other people's enthusiasm. So, when a director is excited by a project, I'm excited by their excitement. Um, but what I love are different ideas. I love, or I love when somebody looks at something, and this really pertains to Gilbert and Sullivan and the work I've done with a lot of the directors there, but particularly this Pirates, for instance, where somebody looks at something that's been done a lot and sees something in there that somebody else hasn't seen before. I think that a lot of people are afraid. Well, like there aren't any new ideas. I, it's been done before. How can I come up with something different? But every single person is unique, and every individual's vision is unique. You can always see something new. So that's what excites me, the opportunity to see something new.
It's a good time to jump into our production, our 2018 production of Pirates of Penzance, because our stage director, Nicholas Aliaga, did exactly that. He took the show that everybody knows and loves, and he pushed it just a little bit later in time. So it was centered in the New Woman movement of the late 1890s. So when you first heard this proposal of this idea, how did you react to it?
Well, it's funny because I knew we were doing Pirates again, and I'd already done Pirates twice, the same production with Jane Hammond. I loved her production of it. It was fun. We had the whole motorcycle gang thing. I thought I don't need to do Pirates again. Somebody else can do Pirates. And then it wasn't proposed to me. I heard Nicholas talking about his idea, and I said, oh, I was going to take the summer off. But I really want to do this Pirates. I love the idea of giving the daughters agency. They're they can just be a bunch of silly girls, and that's cute and charming. Silly, silly is good in my book. I love silly, but to have them have something underneath that silly is fantastic. Uh, the pirates are also silly. They're not any less silly than those girls.
Very much so. So for anyone that is not familiar with the 1890s New Woman movement, can you give us a brief explanation of what that was?
I'll try to be brief. The fact is that women from previously, from quite a long time, have been saying, don't just make us playthings, don't just make us ornaments. We are not meant to just be adjuncts to men. We are thinking, acting people. So we should be able to order our own affairs, participate in the affairs of the nation, participate in sports activities, which is where we centered it for this show. We should be actors in our own affairs and actors in the affairs of the world. So in terms of this production, I thought of, we're going to put the women's chorus in 1897 activewear, because this was a big thing. When the bicycle came in, it was a huge craze, and people wanted to be super active, and you couldn't ride a bicycle in a long skirt without like being a danger to yourself and others. So they started wearing bicycle bloomers and knickerbockers, which are basically breeches, and divided skirts, which look like skirts when you're standing, but then divide up into pants. And we made all of these for the women's chorus for their 1897 activewear.
I was lucky enough to get to wear one of those divided skirts that you made, and I had a beautiful vest that went with it and a blouse. I was absolutely in love with everything I got to wear for that show. So thank you from me for that experience. It's, I think, the favorite thing I have ever worn ever. So I'd like to ask about two specific character designs from this particular production. One of the major changes that we saw was with Ruth, the maid of all work. So how did you approach her new concept? If you want to give us a brief description of what that was. Then.
So I actually changed both looks. The first look only a little bit from my previous design, which was a change from other designs. So the previous design that Lamplighters had was more of a nursemaid kind of look, because she's Frederick's old nursemaid, and I had put her in, like, she's wearing the pirates cast-offs. I'd had her in one of those 18th century coats and a kind of worn out ragged apron and stuff. Nicholas wanted her more like a Cornish fishwife. So I have research, and then she's been dissed. She's kind of mad, and she gets off the boat and she goes and gets a makeover.
And her reveal every night got a huge reaction. It was one of the best moments of the show every single time.
I love that costume so much, and I loved what Gwendolyn and Deborah did with it. They rocked that costume.
So 2020 is actually the 100th anniversary of the women's suffrage movement and women gaining the right to vote in the United States. And I know that that was something that our production really tried to emphasize in a couple of ways. We had that really amazing banner that Mabel was doing needlepoint on that said, "We too deserve the vote." But there is something else about Mabel that really plays into the women's suffrage idea. So if you want to explain what you did with her costuming to tie into that women's suffrage movement we were trying to celebrate.
Yes, so Nicholas's idea of Mabel is that she is dedicated to causes, but she's going to do it in her own way. And this is her cause. She does want women to have the vote. And how we express this in her costume is it is in suffragette colors. You know, it's subtle. I don't know that everybody knows those are suffragette colors. And I didn't, I actually didn't know until I did the research for this show that that's why those are the suffragette colors, is because that is give votes to women, green, violet, and white.
Well, I just want to take a second to say that I was so lucky to get to do this production and to get to wear your incredible designs. And I have never felt so powerful in a costume before. And that was a really incredible feeling for me, and especially considering the messages that we were trying to convey with the agency of all of the women who can sometimes be a homogenous mass, and we really tried to individualize everybody. Your costuming work went such a long way towards accomplishing that, at least for me personally, and I know for a lot of the other people in the cast as well. So thank you from us for letting us get to experience your amazing work. It's always on a level that I really think is unrivaled in the Bay Area. And I just feel very, very lucky to have gotten to do this show with Nicholas's concept and with your costuming. It was really a beautiful marriage of everything, and I feel very, very lucky.
Well, thank you, Kristin. I say this all the time, but it's really true. It was certainly my pleasure, and it was a real privilege to be able to do it. I am lucky to be able to do what I love and to get to work with such people, and such as you and Nicholas and all of the people who put their heart into what they do.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us, Miriam. Again, I think the show was an incredible success, and very much in part due to your design work. So thank you for giving us your time to chat about it with you. And we can't wait until we get to see the archival footage air later this month.
Thank you very much, Kristin. It's been a pleasure.